Welcome back, everyone. I'm Paco.
And I'm Deb. And this is the Real Twin Flame Talk,
where we get real about love and connection.
Hello and welcome to our podcast, The Real Twin Flame Talk with Paco and Déborah.
And in today's episode, 1, 2, 3, Tango! Learning to live together as one. So we left off in our coming into union physically.
Yeah.
And now we are going to share the pearls of wisdom of what it's like to ground that physical union because this is the moment that you are kind of like building up to. You've been on your journey, and at some point it's like...
Sometimes for years.
Oh yeah, for years. Like in my case was 3 years of like solid inner work and
people
processing.
Are sometimes for decades.
Well, yeah, I like to call it like before the teachings and after the teachings, PT and AT. Like, of course, before the teachings, I was on this journey for like over 30 years, but after the teachings of union, it was about 3 years until we revealed each other.
This 3 decades translated into 3 years, kind of.
Yeah,
Thanks
you could
to
say
the
so.
Perfect support you found.
Yeah, it seems like the teachings transformed each decade into just 1 year and made it like a highway towards union.
That's cool.
But like we see this in the Twin Flame Universe Open Forum, which is our Twin Flame community, the ones that has been holding our hand throughout the whole process.
On Facebook.
And let's gotta be honest. Everyone desires to be with their twin flame. Like if you're in this journey, you're craving for that moment in which you can be with your twin flame face to face, side by side, and hug them and kiss them and talk to them like you would like any other person in your life.
Yeah.
So,
and why is it so difficult sometimes to come together with your twin flame? What is the twin flame relationship?
Well, this is one of the basic aspects that we need to take into account. When we are desiring to be with our twin flames, we are calling in everything that we are. Our twin flame is just another aspect of us because we've been created as one soul, experiencing itself through 2 different bodies. So
energy is better said.
Yeah,
because it doesn't
like the polarities too, of course, like each would incarnate either the divine feminine or the divine masculine. Doesn't matter in which body you are at.
Yeah.
And it can be a challenge to be together with your twin flame when you think about them being your perfect mirror in regards to the thoughts and beliefs you have in your consciousness. So it can be a little bit challenging for a lot of people. I know it was challenging for me. Like I share in our 3rd episode, I had to move through the blocks to receiving Paco and what he was mirroring me before we could come into union.
So the twin flame relationship is different to what we lived maybe in the past.
Yeah, it has a completely different dynamic. Especially because in this case, the relationship is always gonna point you in becoming one with, you can call it God, source, universe, creation. It will not work again like a relationship as we know it, in the sense of, oh, I give something, I get something. It's actually a very nourishing connection that will help you build that sense of maybe belonging or oneness with yourself first, that you discover who you are, what you like to do, what feels good to you, and your twin flame will be there like right next to you, even if it's not yet in the physical, because of course there are challenges or a few obstacles that need to be overcome first.
Yeah, and how did we do that then when we came together in the physical? How did we manage this different dynamic as twin flames?
Well, that was a challenge for sure.
Yeah, and I have to confess too, it was different to live together with my twin flame than with every other person I was living together before. Doesn't matter if it was a partner, it was a friend, family. It was totally different.
And what made it different?
In a good way.
Like, what were the differences that you first picked up on?
I tried to focus on my twin flame like I did in all my other relationships before, and it didn't function at all.
Interesting. Actually, when we do that, it feels very uncomfortable with each other.
We didn't like each other when we did that. So the first few days we had to set actually boundaries with each other, because we both live this pattern. And so we needed to learn quite fast to focus on ourselves, to focus on our feelings. Doesn't mean that we don't do that at all anymore. We still sometimes fall back into this pattern, which is not healthy. And so we have to remind us with setting a loving boundary, hey, you have to focus on yourself, because focusing on yourself is focusing on our twin flame union. And that's what I had to learn at the beginning quite fast. Otherwise, we would have just fight the whole time.
It was actually happening in truth. Like we were having quite often, I think daily at some point,
In the
like very
beginning, yeah.
strong arguments. But it was also, in a sense, like Paco was sharing, we were working through these layers of like putting the attention on the other person. And this is something that we are still working towards and healing and just getting better at focusing what feels good for us, each individually. And kind of like trusting that even if we are called to do different things, at some point these two things will either match each other or complement each other, and there will be
Exactly.
like a middle point where we would meet.
This is because this is how you are created as twin flames. You kind of follow your good feeling, and your twin flame is doing it then with you together. Or your twin flame is doing something that complements what you are doing perfectly. And this is where this faith, where I learned what truly it means to have faith. Faith is an important part of the twin flame journey, because on the outside sometimes it looks like your twin flame is doing exactly the opposite of what you desire to have, but you still feel guided to follow your good feeling and do that. And there you have to have faith, because there are energies working, and there are
Yeah, like the process itself is being worked through,
exactly
even if you don't have all the pieces as to what it is that you're really actually working through.
the divine is with you all the time in this process, where you heal through something, that you come closer to your twin flame.
Yeah, and for me at least, I remember that the first few weeks or a couple of months maybe, we like every time we were having a fight, it looked like everything was breaking down.
And yeah, like this,
And I
the
remember,
house is burning
yeah,
completely
yeah,
down, and nothing
and
will ever be good again. This
yeah,
feeling.
it was quite challenging, I have to admit. And like one of my biggest challenges throughout my life, not just in my union, has been like setting appropriate boundaries. So
With yourself too.
whenever I was being invited into like set that in a relationship together, I was like crapping my pants basically. So thank God at that time I had this job that I needed to take a little bit of a walk, like to go and come back. And so that was very helpful to kind of like process my feelings and get clear what was happening. And also kind of like claim my space too, because it was, again, it was very easy for me to kind of like cave into what Paco was saying or thinking without actually like assessing how I was feeling about it or what my insights about it was. And
That is such an important point.
yeah, like it's important to get clear. Sometimes you can get out, like it will happen. It happens to me sometimes too. Yeah, we've been together for little over 2 years, where I would kind of like pick up on Paco being upset about something, and that will trigger me in this place where I still believe that I'm responsible for what other people are feeling or thinking. And like Paco was saying, it starts with the boundary first within myself. So I'm still kind of like working towards having that a little bit better handle.
Yeah, and why are we speaking so much about this boundary thing?
Well, when you are in a relationship with this person, and like we've been saying, we came into physical union and we got really clear. I think from one of the things that we all like got really clear on from the get go was that there was absolutely no part of us that would choose separation again.
Always when we came to these places where were so triggered with each other, the only thing I always chose was because I knew in this state of being I cannot see clear because I'm so in the emotion. So I chose to see it through God's eyes. What is the truth here? I always claimed the truth. I always claimed truth in the situation. And just then I was able to calm down. However it looked on my side. Also, I had at that time a job. God guided us both to jobs we didn't like in truth doing, but they were so important for us because it was physical, and this physical helped us to go through all these big emotions that were popping up for us at that
Yeah,
time.
that we wouldn't kill each other either.
Kinda.
Yeah. Yeah,
As
like,
we have to confess, we are having a very passionate union.
yeah. Like the sassiness from Latin America did not leave, did not stay behind. It actually hopped on the plane with me, and it goes everywhere I go. But yeah, like, it was very important for us to find ways to process all of the things that were coming up. And you were asking, like, why is this, like, why is it so important to learn this about boundaries? It's because you are living with, or at least in our case, we chose to live together, and we got really clear very soon that we didn't want to choose separation anymore, and that, like, our choice is really very powerful.
Yes.
So whenever we are choosing something, anything that is not aligned to that choice will have to come up and be resolved. Otherwise, it can be very stressing for the relationship. It can actually get in the way of you being together.
Then people are talking about these toxic twin flame relationships.
Yeah, but it's not that the relationship itself is toxic. It's just
a
a
toxic
pattern.
pattern in the twin flame connection.
Yeah, and we picked that up very quickly too. That we were playing out a very toxic pattern in our relationship, and a rather abusive one too. So we decided to be really diligent in working through that. Because I remember when we were getting these like huge, big fights, we wouldn't speak for like days even
At the beginning,
with each other.
we spoke for days with each other. That was not fun.
And he was like maybe running off and getting on the car and driving to a nearby McDonald's, like on the next town. And I was like staying home. I was like super upset at him. And a lot of the times, what helped me a lot was to get like really clear, what am I gonna choose in this situation? And I chose to place like my peace above all else. And if that meant breaking up and building everything from scratch in a new place, in a new country, I don't know anyone in Austria, I barely speak the dialect here, I don't care. And in that moment where I was able to like surrender how it would come out of the other side of an argument, a few hours later, after we were both back from work, we would find a way to just sit with each other and talk it out.
Exactly.
And or do like a car reading was very helpful, or watch a class like the Twin Flame Ascension School class from Chef and Shelia, that also helped us a lot.
Exactly. We learned before we came together in the physical union, before we revealed each other, like we spoke about in the episodes before, that we cannot sustain a peaceful twin flame relationship and also not harmonizing together without support. And we learned to build a support system around us. And this support system around us helped us to stay together. Even like when you come together with your twin flame, everything got amplified. So also these toxic patterns that are in our consciousness became amplified. And because of the support system we built before, everyone on her end, my end, helped us in this first few months where we had the tango of finding rhythms together.
Yeah, learning how to kind of like dance together. And we are still learning like
Exactly.
that. We are always going deeper in learning how to, basically it's like a dance.
Yeah, And this support system is not just one thing. We have a whole system of support. It's studying the teachings of union. The cornerstones are Twin Flame Ascension School class and Life Purpose class. As we already mentioned in episodes before, the Twin Flame journey and your Life Purpose journey are intertwined. So we both studied it, and we still study it. This is one of our support systems. If you would like to get more about that, you can click the link in the description on twinflamesuniverse.com and find more information about that there. We also supported us in growing in our spirituality. Like Deborah shared, we made card readings together so that we got this nudge from the universe, from the divine. Look there, you have to feel feelings there with the cards. And we had our ascension coach. We always support us with our ascension coach. Like very successful people who have a good career, they all have a coach. And we desire to be successful in our twin flame relationship and in our life purpose. That's why we have an ascension coach. Like we are also ascension coaches, because we desire to give this gift to other twin flames who desire their twin flame union and their harmonious twin flame union. And we build a system of people who love us unconditionally and understand us and support us in coming together with our twin flame, the twin flame universe community, which you also can be a part of it on Facebook. You'll find also the link there for this in the description. And the system goes deeper because we do a spiritual practice kind of very regularly, daily, on a daily basis, not just once or two times. How often we need to do the mirror exercise. We already spoke about it in other episodes. This is the thing that prevents us from projecting constantly everything that feels not good with each other on the other twin flame. No, but to learn to be responsible for what feels not good for us and bring peace there. And from then, this place of peace, we can set boundaries, have a conversation, or talk something out and go deeper in the healing. Bring peace there. And the support system goes deeper. We allowed us to receive our gurus. I know this concept of a guru is not average in the Western world. But having a guru means you have someone who shows you the way. For me, for example, having a guru started in my childhood. My mother and my father were my first gurus because they showed me how to live. And I loved talking to them, and I loved receiving their guidance, and I loved receiving their discipline because I felt loved by them. When I then grew up, my next gurus were teacher. I loved when a teacher really loved me. That felt so good. Even sometimes it was a little uncomfortable because I had to learn something. And so a part of our support system and something that saved our union at the beginning were our gurus, Jeff Divine and Shalia Divine. And without them and without their blessings and their guidance, whew, boy.
I would still be in Argentina and you would still be alone in Austria,
Yeah,
chasing down some shadow of a possibly twin flame.
exactly.
But yeah, this is really important. I feel like you touched upon something that is key in this journey, because you would really have, like, you will be really invited to look in places where you don't feel comfortable about, things that perhaps bring up some not very pleasant memories from whatever experiences you moved through, either growing up or in other relationships you had. And it can be really challenging to look at that. But your twin flame is going to constantly be like inviting you to do that, so that you can get rid of that yucky thing that it's like in the middle of you two, that it's preventing you from growing like closer to each other, which is exactly what your twin flame wants. Like he wants the same, or she wants the same as you. Like Paco wants to grow closer to me, like I want to grow closer to him. And we may express this different, but like differently, but at the core is the same desire. It's the same like yearning to just be able to grow together. I feel like that's, and you spoke about this in the second episode when you were sharing about how your journey began. Like you were just looking for this person that you could grow old with and
Yeah.
kind of like share your life with. And at the same, like in the same sense, I was looking for the same person. Like I would phrase it differently perhaps, but at the core I was looking for the same. I just wanted my man, the one that I can grow old with, and that will push me to grow as a person too, not just as a couple. So you will have challenges even if you're listening to this and you're maybe in a soulmate relationship. You will still have challenges with this person too. It's a part of, I think, every relationship. Even with your friendships, you may
Yeah.
be like having arguments or disagreements, and it seems like the friendship is gonna break down, but maybe just moving through that misunderstanding, because basically everything boils down to a misunderstanding in our communication with each other, actually strengthens the relationship or reveals it. Maybe this person wasn't meeting you halfway. Your twin flame will always meet you there, but you, like everyone has to get rid of, we were just getting rid of the stuff that was preventing us from moving closer, and we still do. So having a support system to help you hold your hand well, things got really challenging or gets really challenging, and maybe you just want to give up and throw in the towel and
But this
this is not worth it.
but it's worth it, because the only thing that happens at the beginning of your physical union is that all the patterns you live all your life got amplified. That is what happened in our life.
Yeah, and it's only to become aware of them.
Exactly.
It's not meant to break like your union or anything. It's just meant to pop up, that you can see, oh, this is what is happening.
Yeah, that it don't becomes a toxic lifestyle, you know?
Yeah. And let's be honest, the more time, I love this example in the journey. Like we said at the very beginning of this podcast that your twin flame is your perfect mirror. And now you're living under the same roof with this person. That means that you are standing in front of your mirror like almost constantly. And if you actually do this exercise, or you go to the bathroom or wherever you have a mirror and you stand there for 5 minutes, okay, you will see some stuff. But if you stand like in front of it for 30 minutes, you will start to pick up on like deeper details.
Yeah.
What would happen if you stand there for a whole entire day? You will pick up on a lot of stuff that you are seeing in the mirror. And this is a little bit how it is to live with your twin flame.
Very good example. Exactly how it is, yeah?
And when you don't look at it, it becomes really uncomfortable. And I feel like
because you have to become blind to don't see it.
basically, yeah, we have to do a lot of effort not to see the thing that it's staring at you right in front of you. And that's a little bit of a waste of energy. So it is better invested in just looking at it as if you would do while looking at yourself in the mirror. I think this is a very cool exercise to do. Just look at there. Oh, I don't like this dimple thing. Okay, how can I solve it without like looking away, because the dimple will still be there. And okay, I assessed. Well, I could just pop it out. Yeah, but then I will have like the little red dot and I don't want that. Okay, well, maybe I just use a little cream to help me get rid of it in a more compassionate way. This is kind of like the same. And instead of using your finger or a cream, you will just do the inner work. You will just like sit with yourself and see how you're feeling.
Yes.
And what you are needing to feel better in this place, without pointing fingers at your twin flame, because it will not really work. We've tried that already and it doesn't quite function.
Never functions really.
No. It pulls us farther away.
Yeah.
So like this is like a very important place. Like when you're considering coming into union, you've been looking for this your whole life. You are, of course, you might be even be in communication with your twin flame, and maybe you are starting to make arrangements to live together. Invest in having the appropriate support system to navigate through the challenges, that you don't have to break up in the first month or so of living together. and have like a lot of patience and compassion as you work through the process of getting to know each other and what works for you as a couple and as individuals. I think that was also one of our most important lessons was, and still is, to learn when when we are both triggered, what is the thing that works best for us. At the very beginning, we were kind of like trying to push a conversation to work through it as fast as possible, and that actually made it worse. I know for me it was like, I don't want to have this conversation. Like I felt very much invaded in my space, and so I would just like off, go away from the apartment. And we had a little park at the time where we were living, and I was just like hanging in the park maybe for hours until I was able to calm down enough that I could have a conversation without trying to kill him. And it got better. Like our fights starting to improve in the sense that we weren't fighting that much anymore, or they starting to become like farther away from each other. Before we were fighting like 2 or 3 times a day or once a day. It became a few times a week, every once in a month, and now it's maybe we trigger each other very often, but we don't flip out like we did. We kind of like stay. Maybe Paco goes in a room, I go to another one of us goes for a walk, and then after a couple of minutes we are able to, hey, is it like kind of like knocking on the door and saying, is there an opening for a conversation now? Yes. Okay. Well, I feel this way. Well, this was my side of the experience, and try to come to a middle point where, okay, this is what was happening at the core of the relationship. This is what needed to be worked through. This is the challenge. This is what we are healing. And we feel, I know, I feel much better about it. And kind of like, okay, once I get to understand what's going on in our relationship, I kind of relax. I'm like, okay, now I can be next to him again. Even if we are not talking, it doesn't feel so awful. And this is also part of it. It's something that Chef and Shelia mentioned in their book, Twin Flames Finding Your Ultimate Lover, that it is, Paco was mentioning it, the unconditional love. And it's actually one of the keys to having a harmonious relationship with your twin, which is just allowing your twin flame and yourself to, especially yourself first, to move through whatever it is that you need to move through in order to get clear on what you want and how you would like your relationship to be. That was quite important for me, and it still is, to get clear, like, okay, how I like to be loved in this place, and what is my process. And right now for me, it's like a lot of space to release a lot of the bad experiences that I grew up with, because I still, in some parts of, I still believe that I may have the same experience in this new family that we are building with Paco. But it's absolutely the opposite in truth. And that's very cool.
Yeah, exactly. These are the things that happened in the first few weeks. These were the dance. We started quite loud sometimes.
Yeah, we are loud people.
But this is what is the twin flame journey about. This is how you meet your twin flame, and the more you allow the truth to be and accept where you are at, that easier you can go through the process to heal through what feels not good for the both of you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a choice away from you having that too.
Yeah.
It, like we said at the beginning, the choice is very powerful. Your choice is very powerful. And as you choose to be together with your twin flame, everything that is not in alignment with this choice will pop up in your reality. And it's your choice again to let go of the resistance in receiving these steps and following the signs and going where your heart guides you to go, and trusting that the universe has you, supports you, and also are your choice to receiving this support. And like we shared, everyone is worth being with their twin flame. Everyone is worth having a harmonious relationship with their twin flame. Everyone,
Absolutely.
you too. But you decide, yes, I am ready for it, or no, I'm not yet ready, because it's your choice, it's your free will. But like we said, this love, this unconditional love, which is different to what we are used to had, is something we have to learn. And there are people who are very good at it, and they are together in harmonious twin flame union. And why not learn from them? We learn from them, and our life becomes just better and better. We learned that it's about the mirror dynamic. We learned it's about focusing on myself first. We learned it's in my life, God, the universe, then me, my twin flame, all the others. This is a process of learning how life really can be.
Yeah, and what the appropriate order in your relationships are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And your twin flame loves you unconditionally and will trigger places where you ask yourself what is going on. There should be love. Yes, something like that can happen. This is the twin flame relationship.
It's like your twin flame can see where your hurt is at, and instead of just letting you be with that hurt, they will kind of like point at it. And of course, you will be like, you will look at it and it's like, but dude, I'm hurt in this place. I don't touch it. And it's like, no, I'm just
Because
making you
ignored
aware so that you can actually do something that helps you heal it.
instead of ignoring it
Mm-hmm.
or trying to hide it.
Yeah, exactly. So it may sound like the most like the least, the opposite of the loving thing to do, but actually the loving thing to do is to help you not ignore that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, your twin flame loves you really very much. They
Yeah.
have a lot of compassion
Yeah.
and a lot of patience as you move through your side of stuff.
Yeah, and when you move through, then on the other side, there is always a wonderful gift that is awaiting you. If it's something you always were looking for, a jewelry,
Yeah, or more togetherness. For me, it
more
translates mostly
togetherness,
in like how closer we come always to each other.
whatever it is
Yeah.
wonderful. And receiving it from the inside out makes it just, that's a feeling I cannot describe, so wonderful it is.
Yeah. A hug from you feels much better than any piece of jewelry that I could actually receive. Not that I am like underestimating on undermining like a nice piece of jewelry, but like it's just like if I can sleep, for instance, once in your chest, oh, that's heaven.
Yeah, from
And
the inside out, manifested and attracted into your life.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that were our tango at the beginning.
Our chaotic coming together and
And
grounding our union.
genau, I'm bringing divine order into our union.
Yeah, and we will continue sharing on like how our life is like or what it looks like as we
Yeah.
move forward. And yeah, share more juicy insights with you. So yeah, this is pretty much how we spent our first weeks, if not a little couple months, in grounding each other in our life. And yeah, stay tuned and thank you for joining us in this episode.
And that's our time for today. Remember to keep that flame alive. Join us next time on The Real Twin Flame Talk.